I always kinda knew that the character quest on War and the Eagle would do pretty darn well. But I didn't know it would do this well. Alright, message received. More Don't Hug Me I'm Scared content is on the way. You should know that because you're watching a video about it right now. When I decided to do more of these Don't Hug Me I'm Scared character quests, I knew that the first character I had to cover was Shrignold, the main antagonist of episode 3, Love. Surprisingly, I found that a lot of people consider Don't Hug Me I'm Scared 3 to be the worst in the series. I mean, yeah, it's not as scary as the others, but it's a lot funnier and it's got a lot of darker undertones, especially because of Shrignold himself. But what are these dark undertones and what exactly makes Shrignold a great character? Well, first things first, what does Shrignold teach? Well, in case you didn't hear what I just said earlier, he teaches people about love, specifically finding people who are lonely or feeling sad, and then taking him up to his magical cloud paradise, where all of his friends who seem to love each other very much want to love you too. And you can enjoy this love every day so long as you decide to live with them and follow the rule of their king, Malcolm. Alright, that doesn't sound like the worst deal ever. But trust me, it's not a good idea to say yes. I'm gonna just go and state the obvious right here because I'm sure we've all seen the episode. Shrignold is part of a cult. To be specific, it's a cult that's half a hippie commune and half slave labor. Even though Shrignold and the rest of the cult members promise whoever joins them eternal love and companionship, that's not the main focus. It's really all about feeding this giant stonehead Malcolm a bunch of gravel or he gets angry. Alright, that part kinda stinks, but at least you can enjoy the love and companionship, right? If you're lonely and sad, this might be the perfect way to fix it. See, what I just said there is called a lie. It's fitting that the whole point of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared is to parody bad children's entertainment, because Shrignold and the cult members really don't understand love beyond a child's comprehension level. Think about it. What do they say that love is? Being kind, hugging, giving gifts.
And to share!
Yeah, that's all part of it, but that's the most surface level, basic, nothing form of love there is. In fact, that's not even love at all. That's just being nice. Throughout all of Shrignold's teaching, he never mentions actually caring about somebody, sharing the same interests, helping them when they're going through something bad. Nothing at all. The closest you get is talking about how everybody has a special one.
You must save your love for your special one.
My special one?
But it's not about actually loving said special one. It's all about finding that special one, putting a ring on their finger, and that's it. And it's something you have to do, not something you want to do. There's no other option. Otherwise, you're not going to be experiencing real love. Like I said in the last video, it's really common for Don't Hug Me I'm Scared teachers to not really have a firm grasp on the subject they teach, like how Tony the Clock doesn't know why time is important, or how the Healthy Band just spews nonsense for 5 minutes. But this is something else. I can't help but think that Shrignold knows exactly what he's doing. What does he do all day? Well, he wanders the forest looking for sad, lonely people, and then when he finds them, he starts implanting ideas in their head like,
Everybody hates you and no one cares.
Everybody hates you where you come from. No one cares what you have to think. But don't worry.
But if you follow me, maybe you will see.
Follow me and listen to what my friends and I have to say. And at long last, you can finally find peace.
Sure.
But that's not what happens. If you offer somebody lonely, fake, superficial love, it's not going to make them feel better. In fact, it might even make them feel worse. Shrignold will just tell them they're doing it wrong.
No, that's not how it's done.
And if they're doing it wrong, then they'll never be happy. See how that works? They cling to Shrignold and his teachings, and the more they do that, the tighter of a grip that the love cult will have on its members. I know that they do this because this is what cults actually do. They have a charismatic frontman who goes out and preys upon weak, desperate people. They fill their heads with a bunch of thoughts that they don't really have, and then they manipulate the person into thinking that they would be nothing without the cult and its leader, thereby making them a permanent follower. But you've got to be really careful about how you do it, because if you mess up, if you overplay your hand, or if you let the person you're talking to think too much about their situation, bam, they're gone. And you're never going to get to control them again. This leads me into Shrignold's teaching style, which no other teacher in Don't Hug Me I'm Scared, both the web series and the TV show, hasn't had before or since. Most of the teachers, like Colin or the aforementioned Tony the Clock, will basically just teach at a brick wall. Barely anything can change what they say, they barely interact with the people they teach, it's their turn to take center stage, and nobody's going to stop them. Then you've got teachers like Tracy who genuinely do care about the subject and interact with the people they teach. Very little malice or danger, if any at all, and they're generally a positive force. Then going a little further, we got ones like the Coffin or the Sketchbook. Yes, they do interact with the guys when they teach them, but they're very hands-on and quite controlling of the way their subject is taught. And then we got Shrignold, who tries to act like an Tracy sort of teacher, but he's actually a Sketchbook or Coffin on steroids. Throughout most of the episode, he seems like a gentle, kind person. But then when you take a closer look, you start to see some of the more subtle, underhanded tactics that he takes in order to get what he wants. Like I mentioned earlier, Shrignold will put thoughts into people's heads in order to make them more susceptible to his lesson. But it even goes beyond that. Shrignold immediately has the cult members bombard the visitor with love so that they not only get overwhelmed, but also kind of excited about the concept of love. If everybody here loves each other so much, then maybe I'm the one who's wrong, and maybe they're the ones who are right. And now that the person is all excited about love, they start expressing it in their own way. But this is where Shrignold pulls the rug out from under them and reveals that no, you can't experience love your way, you have to experience it our way, because that's the only way there is. If all's going well, then by this point, the victim will have already been hooked. Even if it's not what they expected, they gotta follow the rules. It's the only way to be as happy as everybody else seems to be. By the time Shrignold tells the victim about Malcolm, it's already too late. This is a bad situation, yeah, but what about that love? So they stay in the cult, pretending to go along with what everybody else does. Because obviously they're the only ones that aren't feeling satisfied. This surface level garbage isn't doing anything for them, but that's their issue because look how happy everyone else is. They're definitely not putting on a face and just pretending to be happy in order to fit in. Eventually, they'll think this way so much. And that's when you become exactly like the love cult members that we see in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared 3. Lovey-dovey, happy, smiley, and overall basic and bland. Now, here's the interesting question. Where does Shrignold fit into all this? Is he brainwashed like the love cult members as well? Or does he know what he's saying is pure garbage? We know that he's aware that he's misleading people and luring them into the cult for power, but does he actually believe that they could be happy here? Or is this some kind of evil scheme he has going on with Malcolm? Honestly, I think it's kind of up to interpretation. As for me and my personal take, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that he legitimately thinks that he's doing something good, but that's more of a secondary side deal sort of thing compared to what he gets out of all this. He's a leader. He's someone that people look to in times of trouble, and he gets to tell people what to think. So, just like how Warren the Eagle is a fully qualified friendship expert who has no idea how friendships work and is actually kind of a jerk himself, Shrignold teaches people about love for his own selfish gain, which of course is the exact opposite of love. So long as he's happy, that's all that really matters. Yeah, the people who come to the cult are gonna be happy, at least to some degree, but they're his. They're no longer an individual, they're part of his team. They're not a Chris or a Lucy or an Andrew Johnson. They're a Shurgis, a follower. And yes, actually, Shurgis is Aramaic for follower. Huh, I didn't know that. Much like Warren, there are real people like Shrignold out there in the world. But I'm not just talking about cults. I'm talking about something a little more broad. It could be something as big and nasty as corporate fat cats taking advantage of the little guy, or something as small as a bad friend who's trying to make you their sidekick, or make the bad situation you're going through all about them. With people like these, they genuinely do feel love, but it's only for themselves. And Shrignold is no different. Stay on your guard, friends. Be ever alert. Or you too might fall victim to another preacher of false love. Well folks, thanks for watching the video. What'd you guys think? Do you think Shrignold is evil, or do you think he's mind controlled? Comment below and let me know because I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. Isn't it kind of a shame that they didn't put Shrignold in the first season of the Don't Hug Me I'm Scared TV show? They got all the rest of the teachers, even if it is just a brief cameo, but Shrignold was the only one who wasn't there. I get that his puppeteering was kinda hard to do, and again, the third episode is not necessarily everyone's favorite, but come on, they gave the lamp a cameo. The lamp! Come on, guys! Oh well, there's always season 2, I hope. And now it's time to thank our wonderful Patreon people, Masters of Fate, Manny Paredes and Kev, and our executive producers, Unkale, Blackjack, H.R. Hoffman, Edward Haas, Ryan Williams, Who Else But Zane, YouTube Milkwad, Albert Robinson, I Am Fove, and Aaron Vasquez. If you'd like to be just like these wonderful people and have your name read at the end of every Media Mementos video, then why not donate to the Patreon? There's a link in the description below for your convenience. Check it out!
TTFN, ta-ta for now.